Hey guys, my name is Alex. I'm a real estate investor, and I want to make these videos to share with you guys what I'm learning, the hurdles I'm facing, and the challenges and objections and all that stuff. So hopefully you guys can use this information to kind of accelerate your journey. So today I got a call that I had, I believe it was yesterday or the day before. I think acquisitions is one of the most important skills you can develop on real estate. And that means, finding the deal. That means negotiating with sellers and getting good on the phone. So I've been spending a ton of time on the phones lately. And this is one of the calls I wanted to do a breakdown and hopefully you guys learn from it. So here we go.
Hello?
Hey, Rhonda, it's Alex. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. How's everything going, Alex?
Oh, I'm doing amazing. Say, I was just kind of calling to touch base with you on Powell Street. Did I catch you at a bad time here?
No, I'm just going to recess with my students. We're walking, so we can talk.
Oh, awesome, awesome. I know last time we were talking, we were talking about coming up to that price of 75,000. Or just buy it on terms. Have you kind of given that any more thought about what terms would make sense for you?
You know, I
So a couple things here. I can hear myself saying a ton, so don't do that. But that thing in the intro that I did, where I was like, that I probably caught you at a bad time. That's my favorite way of setting that upfront contract because then later they can't just be like, oh no, I'm busy, like get out of here, like just trying to get off the phone. So you want to get that out of the way up front. And the way I like to phrase it is, I probably caught you at a bad time. That is the way I phrase it 90% of the time. That is my favorite way, because it gives them that negative, and it's weird. It's like most of the time they're like, "Oh no, you're okay." It's easier to say no than yes for most people. So, and then yeah, so I think she's about to tell me no, she's not interested.
did, Alex. Hey, y'all get off the rocks. Let's walk. Yeah, I did. I actually, let me be honest with you. I'm not going to do terms. I'm just going to hold the property for another year. Um, I tried to get the insurance on the house for only 100,000. State Farm only writes the insurance on my house for 160,000 replacement cost, and the I've been doing business with the owner of State Farm. Everything is insured through this particular agent. He told me I'm not selling it for enough. He said you're losing money by selling it for 75. He says we can only insure it for 160. So I'm not going to sell it.
Hmm. I mean, that's interesting. I guess why doesn't your agent buy it then for more than 175?
Well, you don't want it.
So that's another huge thing. Like just to give you guys some backstory, this property was listed at 78,000, I think it was, and she's price dropping herself on the market all the way down to like 55,000. So when people come in and say like, "Oh, my appraiser said this," or "My real estate agent said this," like, okay, why don't they buy it? If they say it's worth 175, well, the market already told you it's not. The market already told you it's not even worth 75, what you had it listed at. You couldn't even sell it at 50. So you always want to call the sellers out on their bullshit. I don't think I did a great job here. Like you always want to be like on their side, and like their friend, and like bring them to that realization a little less harshly than I did here. I'm not super proud of how I did that, but it's like if they say it's worth 175, why don't they buy it? Um, something along those lines, but be a lot gentler and nicer than than I was there.
You
Oh
don't want to live
yeah,
in
I mean,
Beaumont.
yeah.
You
The
don't want to
challenge
live in
is,
Beaumont. You don't want to. I mean, that's what he told
yeah.
me. So I know they wouldn't. I only asked for $100,000 worth of insurance. They said that the replacement value to replace the house, he said the cheapest he can write is 160,000. So I'll keep it. And
So
it's a lot. Okay.
so kind of
So
help me
let's.
understand this. Like if we were to buy it on terms, we would obviously we'd be paying above market value. You had it listed, right? Um, so we'd be buying it above market value. You wouldn't have to pay insurance. You wouldn't have to do tenants or toilets or anything like that. Why not just sell it to us for 75 now and not have to deal with the insurance or the headache or anything?
Well, you all been saying to me. You didn't. I mean, we haven't really. my conversation, I think, the other day, we really didn't, unless, you know what, I've talked to several people, Alex, about this property. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's been several interesting buyers, and nothing has really materialized because I really didn't understand. So I may have talked to someone else about the property, okay? So,
Gotcha.
yeah, I think
Side note, these people are talking to so many people, and you can use that to your advantage to try to separate yourself from all the other investors that are out there being idiots. So, try to, like I said, separate yourself, sound mature, professional, follow up when you say you're going to follow up, be respectful. What else? You can also scorch the earth. That's a really good strategy. When they say, "Oh, I've got a buyer at $5 more than you," like, I'm not selling to you. I'm like, "Oh, okay. Like, are these serious? Do you know these guys? Are they just some dumb wholesalers? Like, make sure they have a $10,000 earnest money, and make sure their contract says not assignable, and all this crazy stuff." And you can really scorch the earth with that. But that's a side tangent. Pro tip.
I may have. Because I know I've talked to at least this. You're the third person I've talked to this week about the property. There's interest in it. It's just that I haven't released it yet because the numbers are just not adding up to me. But okay, at 75. Okay, because that's really is on the market. Initially, we put it on the market for 78. Okay, so at
And I wanted to mention this too. Initially, she told me no. She's just going to keep it. And then I kind of used that, it's called dummy curve. Like, oh, help me understand. Like, why do XYZ? You just told me I had all these problems. Like, it's not making sense to me. Like, can you help me understand? Or I'm a little confused. You can say things like that. That's super helpful. And then now we can kind of dig into why she's actually not interested, which it's not that she doesn't want to sell. She definitely wants to sell. She just doesn't fully understand. And now I use that dummy curve. We're digging down into what the actual issue is. She doesn't fully understand it.
75,
Hmm.
tell me from 75, where do we go from 75?
Yeah. So hopefully I explained this well before. Did you say this one you own free and clear, or do you have a loan
No,
on this
this
one?
is my property.
Yeah.
I bought the property back in November of last year. I paid cash for it. It's titled to me. It is only my property, unless somebody else
Sure.
has done some some fraudulent stuff. Okay, but it's my property. I own
So
it
I
free
guess
and clear.
go ahead.
She just goes
I
on
own
telling
it
about
free and
how
clear.
it's free and clear.
But anyway, so
Kind of a similar situation. He had his listed, couldn't quite get here. So
So now I'm going to hit her with a third party story. And this is always how you want to pitch stuff. You never want to say, like, I can do this for you. Like, what do you think? What you instead do, hit her with a third party story about how you just helped somebody else in her similar situation. So it makes it much more relatable. It's not like, here's what I'm offering you, take it or leave it. It's like, hey, man, here's what I just did for somebody else. What do you think? Would that solve your problem?
we actually just closed on another one yesterday from a dude named Dave. Kind of a similar situation. He had his listed, couldn't quite get a buyer at that price. But we came in and said, "Hey, brother, we'll pay you full price. We just need to buy it on terms." So
okay,
all we did was we gave him some money up front, and then he had closing costs. We paid for all those. He wanted to he had a little project and he wanted to buy a boat and stuff. So we paid for all that. And
uh-huh.
then from there, now we're the owners of the property. So we have full
Okay,
responsibility, full, liability. You don't have to worry about anything. The only thing you would worry about is we'd be sending you a check every single month, just like you're the bank. So, I mean, that way you don't have to deal with the tenants, the toilets, the insurance, or anything like that. All of that's our problem, and you get to sell it for more than anyone else is willing to buy it for. So,
okay.
I mean, based on that story, what
No,
about
that
that
sounds
wouldn't
very
really work for you?
inviting. No, that sounds like
And that's how I like to end my third party stories. So in that third party story, I kind of was planting a little bit of seeds too. Like, here's the advantages. We're going to pay you more than anyone else is willing to buy this thing for you. Now, I was also planting seeds about like maybe a small down payment. Like, this guy had some moving expenses and he bought a small boat and stuff like that. And then from there, we paid for that. And then from there, we go into equal monthly payments. So starting to plant a little bit of seeds so she doesn't think like, oh, 50% down or something crazy nonsense. And then I end that with another negative. So, what about that really wouldn't work for you here or something along those lines? Not, based on that story, could you do that? Like, do you see the difference?
Something that I would be interested in.
Okay. Okay.
No, that would
Um,
be beneficial to me.
okay, great. I mean, who else is kind of helping you make this decision?
So now she understands a little bit better, and she went from a no to a yes. She's like, now that would be interesting, and now I get into the decision maker thing. So another thing, another upfront contract you always want to have, and maybe I should have done this earlier. Honestly, I could have been wasting a ton of time. Another thing you want to always do is get the decision makers out of the way. So at the end of this 30-minute phone call or something, if they hit you with, yeah, that's great. This all sounds awesome. Let me go run it by my wife. It's like, oh, fuck. So you definitely want to get that out in the front and get all the parties, all the decision makers on the call, because here's what happens 100% of the time, or 99.9% of the time. You go explain terms to these people, seller finance or what have you. You get them on board, you overcome all their objections. They're like, yeah, that would definitely work. And then they go to their husband, wife, whatever, brother, sister, whoever's helping them sell the property. And then they, who are just newly familiar with this, don't fully understand it, try to pitch terms to that other person who has never heard of this, very skeptical about just some third party person that they talked to on the phone the other day, some crazy scammer or something, right? And then so and then it never works out, and then they're like, are you kidding me? Like, you take payments on your property, like these people aren't going to pay you, or what happens if X or what happens if Y, which are probably all legitimate concerns, and I can answer all of those. But that person who I just introduced it to 5 seconds ago has no idea how to handle that stuff. So I'm gonna cut this one here because it's kind of getting long. It's a long phone call, but that's the major stuff. Starting with a no, I'm not interested. Starting with a no, I'm not interested. To trying to dig into that, figure out why. Like, because it's not adding up. Your insurance agent says don't sell it for less than 175 or something crazy. Okay. And then also getting those decision makers, phrasing a lot of things in the negative, being a friend, hit them with third party stories. That's probably all the major takeaways here. So let me know if you guys want to see more of these or if you took away anything good. So catch you on the next one.